Welcome back to Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. This is Al Shalat. Just wanted to record a video tonight, just going over the current state of elements in the game in regards to damage, where a couple of them seem to be in dire need of some help. Recently, with the 40% potency weapons, Memorias, the new bonus buffs. Uh, those haven't come around to some of the elements. Some of the elements and damage types within them still are heavily reliant on limited or crossover weapons too. Um, and we'll see that as we dig into each of them. But yeah, I'm gonna try to start with the ones I think are in the most need of help, which would be lightning and wind. And you can see here from, I started at the max damage challenge. You could just see from the top scores that lightning and wind are far behind the ones that are in a better spot, that got a whole bunch of help lately from second anniversary in Final Fantasy 13, like earth, fire, and ice. Yeah, water got a little bit of help lately from Final Fantasy 13 also, but the magic water build is still much stronger with the new Sephiroth. And yeah, lightning and wind are just trailing behind quite a bit. We haven't seen Memoria for them yet. We haven't seen bonus buffs yet. And we haven't seen the new strong 1340 potency weapons yet. When we go to see the potency on some of the weapons for these elements, you may be shocked at how low some of them are. But let's get into it. We could start with wind, which, even though it does need some help, magic wind in particular is one of the best spots in regards to wish listable weapons versus limited weapons. The two strongest ones here, you can wish list. But yeah, wind doesn't have a 1340 potency weapon. We don't have a wind bonus buff, which I mean by bonus is like the new buffs that come on, like Cloud's Final Fantasy 13 sword. Where's it at? Where it says applies ice damage bonus 30%. So that's a new giant source of damage that if you don't have an elemental bonus buff, then you're losing out on 30% extra damage for that element. But Cloud is the strongest magic wind right now, I'd say, with Holiday Blade coming in at 1128 after the 1.2 multiplier, with his fusion sword in the offhand, which does exploit and a weapon boost, weapon buff, which is similar to those elemental bonuses, but it just adds extra percent to C abilities. Second strongest right now in terms of magic wind would be Sephiroth. His potency is a quite a bit higher at 1180 versus 1128, but he doesn't, he only has exploit. You can get it from Red 13, who has the wind up buff from Red's ult, or he can apply it himself with Blade of the Worthy, but he doesn't have that same weapon boost for the C ability potency that Cloud has, so he trails a little bit behind. Other things that you may look at in terms of wind Magic Wind, it falls off pretty hard after these two. Like the next best one actually is Aerith at 800%. So we're going below 1000% potency here. Plus, when are you ever going to use Aerith as a damage dealer? That's almost never going to happen. And after that, you got the 620% potency Yuffie, which it debuffs MDef and Wind, but it's such a low potency. I feel that them reducing the potency on these weapons last year just because they came with buffs attached to them, or debuffs, was kind of a cowardly move. Now that we see so many of the new weapons, like where is it, like Sephiroth's new Final Fantasy 13 weapon, it has the 1340 potency and does so many more things. It does AoE water up, it does PDF down. So now it seems like they're not caring as much about the additional effects versus the potency. Last year, they would nerf the potency on the weapon if it had additional effects on it. And it seems like now we're getting the full power plus a ton of effects. So that's one of the major reasons why some of these elements are in trouble and do need some help, because they're still sitting at like the 1100, 1120, 1128 with the 1.2, or the 1180 mark, without all those extra utility on the weapons. And when we go to look at physical wind, it is even worse. The best physical wind weapon that we have is actually it's not here. Let's go over to, it's gonna be Zack, and he's it's the Final Fantasy VI crossover weapon. So almost nobody has this. It's a 940 with a 1.2, so it's 1128. 56 wind potency, our ability. And this came out when they reran Final Fantasy 9. I'm sorry if I said 6. It's Final Fantasy 9. It's a Beatrix sword. This came out with Guild Battle 2, but it didn't have a costume with it. But last Easter we did get the Zack all Arcanum, all elements. Let's see if I got a Zack here. Yeah, this Rabbit Butler. So his Beatrix sword is actually the strongest physical wind in the game now with that, in regards to potency at least. Right after him would be that Tifa. But that's another thing that when I was looking at these kind of bugged me, because this anime high school event they had, these are, it's pretty much a crossover weapon, even though it's like within the same game. We don't know if it's going to come back. They did have the better stamp cards for these two with a guarantee every other stamp, but it seems like because they made them so easy to OB10, they nerfed the potency on them. Or maybe just because it has P attack increased for everybody. But yeah, instead of 1120, they gave it only 1060. The 1120 was like the previous high amount for DPS weapons. Yeah, those are both limited or crossover options for physical wind. Whereas when you get into wishlistable feature pool, the strongest one we have is Vincent's short barrel, which is 400 potency times 3 at max HP. So it's 1200. But he doesn't have a costume for this. So This may be a, a better option once he does get a wind costume or a all element costume. Then after that, the next best one would probably be Diner Plate at 850, which is just so much below it's what, like 60% of the 1340 that we have now. It's just so much below the current value of the new DPS weapons. And then even less than that is Dark Heavens. I think it's 800. Yeah. Which they didn't even give Sephiroth Arcanum with this one. They gave him Wind Mastery with 20% instead of 35. Now he has his Robes of the Worthy, the Odin, all elements for 30%, but when it released, it only had a 20% bonus costume. So yeah, that's Wind. Wind, I think, is probably in the worst shape, especially physical, because the only two strong weapons are limited or crossover. They don't have any 1340 potency weapons. There's no Wind Memoria yet. We don't have a Wind bonus buff yet. After that, let's talk about lightning a little bit. You could start with Magic Lightning, which I think is in a better spot overall. I don't have the character that has the strongest potency up here, but that would be Vince. So Vince has... Where's that guy at? Pro Familiar, which is a 940, 1.2, so 1128. And that is a featured weapon, so that's great. You could get an 1128. But that's the highest. We don't have a 1340 yet. But then after this one, it's just a whole bunch of limited and crossover weapons. Well, besides, where's it at? Angeal has a 900% one, but he has no costume for it. So, but after that, we have Kirin Tifa, which I was surprised to see this was only 940 potency. And again, I think they nerfed it because it applies M attack up to herself. Then more recently, we've had the Dragon Quest Sephiroth, which is 800 with a AoE with a 1.2 damage multiplier that comes out to 960 AoE, which is stronger than Kirin. And it also increases M attack for all allies up to high instead of just mid. Kirin only does it to mid for herself. This one did really good in the Dragon Quest Guild battle a couple months back, along with the Cid that nobody pulled on, because everybody was like, why does the support character get a DPS Lightning Arcanum? And that's because it's quite strong. It's 670 with a 1.2. It comes up to over 800, 804. And it's AoE. And it does lightning down mid to high AoE. So that's the state of Magic Lightning. We have one that's over 11, is 1128. We don't have a 1340. We don't have a Lightning Memoria. We don't have a Lightning bonus buff yet. Then we go to Physical Lightning, and it's probably the worst in the game when considering non-limited, non-crossover weapons. You're pretty much stuck with Murasame Cloud if you don't have any of the limited weapons. Murasame Cloud, the first weapon that came out in the game, 750. And the only other one that is going to compare once you can, OB10 it will be the Temu Zinogre here for Zach, which is going to be 1080 after the 1.2 multiplier, whereas they nerfed it a little bit from the actual Zinogre, which is a 940 1.2 1128. So 1128 1080, they nerfed it by 42%. Or that's from those medals that we get for OB2ing featured weapons. But and that'll be a while till people get this. We can, the max you could get it to right now is OB5, because we've had 5 featured weapons come out since they started this. But most people are gonna get Temu Kimura first anyway, so it's gonna be a long time till anybody has that OB10, I bet. Especially with so many more limited crossover weapons around the corner. We got the crossover for Nier next month. But yeah, that's the non-limited options for physical lightning. Then you get into limit break and crossover weapons where Kate Sith's 710 P attack up to everyone, and it applies Enfeeble with all those extra effects. Pretty much outclasses Murasame in itself, but he doesn't have a Arcanum. It only comes with a command stance bonus, his costume. And then Zinogre is probably the second best at 1128. I'd say it's kind of a toss-up with Zinogre and Dragon Quest Cloud. The Dragon Quest Cloud is AoE 720, but 1.5 multiplier on a single target. So if it's single target, it does 1080, which is just below Zack's Zinogre. Plus it does Enfeeble. So that utility is pretty good when compared to Zinogre's just straight damage. Plus, if you're running Cloud, he has the 40% weapon boost in his offhand and exploit. So yeah, magic or physical lightning needs a lot of help. Not a whole lot of featured options. Magic lightning, Pro Familiar for Vince is great, but it's still not cutting it in regards to the new 1340 potencies. So lightning and wind, magic, physical for both, they need help. They need the new 1340s, they need the new Memorias, they need the new bonus buffs. Let's move on to water, which is an interesting one. Magic water first. I'm just going to do magic first across the board. And the new OG Sephiroth came with a 1340 magic water, and it increases his M attack from mid to high. So this is great for magic water. You can have his ult give him exploit. You could have his offhand Kikui give magic damage bonus 30%. So magic water's in a great spot. That's a featured weapon too. That's in the wish list pool, in the ticket pool. Came with Sephiroth. As long as you pulled for his all elements costume, you have a very strong magic water Sephiroth available. If you got his ult or his Kikui, you're doing even better off. So magic water's doing pretty swell right now. Before this, the highest potency was a crossover weapon for baby Sephiroth. It was a 940 1.2 multiplier on the FF6 banner for Edgar. This one's really strong. in itself when he gives himself exploit too. Mm. But after that though, the best featured option for water falls off quite a bit after those. Pretty sure it's going to be Bunny Tifa. Where's it at? Where's it at? Am I blind? Yeah, this is 850. I was shocked to see this was below 1,000 too. And it's another case where she gives herself M attack low to high, so it takes, you don't even have the high until the 4th hit. By then you're probably reapplying Feather Gloves anyways. So that's why Bunny Tifa was so strong back then, is because how Bunny Gloves and her costume and Feather Gloves all interacted with each other. Where's Bunny at? It was an Arcanum, 35, but it also had 15 points starting for magic ability potency, which was great. So the command stance bonus was gonna be 15 points higher than otherwise. When a lot of other Arcanums don't have that, it'll just have like HP or like boost M attack, those old ones, you know. But this one started with 15 points in magic ability potency, which is starting with a 30% command stance bonus, and that combined with her the Bunny Gloves themselves raised M attack, and then Feather Gloves reduce M def and gave the water buff selfishly just to herself before we had the bamboo rod from Aerith. So that's why the 850 potency was still very, very strong when combined with the bunny costume and Feather Gloves. And that's a featured option. Behind that one, we get to very less. You got Kate Sith's green megaphone, which is like what 620, but it gives water down, and he's in like the meta build for max damage challenge. And then Aerith's bamboo rod with a water arcanum does 530 with a 1.4 multiplier, which is like 742, and it gives the AoE water up. That one was on the anime high school banner too. So it's not wish listable. But yeah, Bunny Tifa at 850. That potency is like only 60% of the new Sephiroth, where he could get all those bonuses from otherwhere. Otherwise, we don't have a water Memoria yet, but we do have the 1340 weapon. There's no water bonus buff either, just the water elemental buff that you see like on the character, but no new bonus buff. Comes the physical water, we just got a new Final Fantasy 13 weapon for baby Sephiroth, and he brings the 1340, the physical water. It's a crossover weapon, so it won't be wish listable. Gives an AoE water up, and his costume gives water up for all allies. Also gives a P-Def down. So this does, and on first use gives HP gain for 60 seconds. So this does so many things, plus it has the new 1340 potency. So we'll see how everything else compares to this, where the second best would be Tifa's Bikini Gloves. Comes in at 1120, which was the old norm, and then it has utility rate lowering attack, both types of attack, so that's just fine. Beyond that, we get under 1000 potency. Where the next best, and the Shining Gloves for Tifa, this is a featured, so you could wish this one. This is a great one, but it's not the 1340. Next best one would be Bird of Prey at 940, giving Yuffie herself exploit on the same cast. This was a crossover weapon for Rebirth, so you can't wishlist it anymore. Beyond that, we got Angeal's Tranquility, his LB, which is a 940, which is strong for a tank. Came with the Water Arcanum too. It's very strong for a tank, but it's a limit break weapon, so can't wishlist it. Beyond that was the next Waterboy Glenn, which is kind of fallen off since it came out. He used to, I call him Waterboy, like the Adam Sandler movie, because that used to be all he was good for. It's 900 potency. They just added the PDEF down to high, which is kind of silly because he used to offhand Slay the Day, which did his water up and then PDEF down to mid, but now this gives PDEF down to high. So it makes Slay the Day kind of obsolete, especially considering we have the AoE water up buffs now. But we don't have Water Memoria, we don't have Water Bonus. And then the only other featured weapon for water would be Maritime Cloud, which is what is, I think, is an old 750 potency weapon. Let me check that one. The 750? Yeah, 750. Which with his new Advent Children costume, he actually has like a 30% buff on it now, because his sailor costume only was a mastery at 20%. So that has improved. Yeah, water is in a good spot. We do need a Memoria. We don't have a Memoria yet. We don't have a bonus buff yet, but Physical and Magic both have a 1340. The Magic 1340 is featured too on the new Sephiroth. Now let's look at Earth next. Magic Earth is doing pretty good. Yuffie just got a 1340 at 2-year anniversary, and it does the Earth bonus. So this is the first element that we're going to look at that has a 1340. It has an Earth bonus buff, and it has a Memoria. So Magic Earth is doing pretty swell, but that weapon is limited. Plus, she has Earth All Allies on her costume, and Angeal has Earth All Allies on his costume. So that damage stacks up pretty quick, and that was our last guild battle against Hell House. That was a pain in the ass. After that, Vince's White Dogs next was this 940 1.2, so 1128. But it's just straight damage. It doesn't have any utility on it. Then, and that's limited too. Then when it comes to featured, they should be adding this to tickets soon. Angeal's AoE 780, Earth down, Earth up AoE. So AoE all around, which is pretty great for him. Then after that, it gets a little rough. Let's look at, I think 800 for Holiday from Lucia. Yeah, just straight 800 damage. So we're under 1,000 now. And then Sephiroth's Blue Bramble is going to be 700, but with Earth down on the first cast high, which is less than Angeal's AoE 780, which does Earth down and Earth up. So that's totally outclassed by Angeal now. Blue Bramble. That's Magic Earth. Yeah, mostly limited weapons. Yuffie's 2-year and White Dog. Then you're going into Holiday Rifle and Angeal's Halloween and Blue Bramble. Physical Earth is also kind of limited heavy because of the Odin 1.5 year Tifa. Got the wrong costume on here. There we go. Which this was 1120, and it's an AoE Earth up. So we don't got a 1340 for physical Earth. This 1120 is the best that it gets. Actually, the best that it gets is Angel with 600 times 2 at max HP, but he doesn't have an Arcanum. He just has the Earth Up All Allies costume now. But that'd be interesting to see that actually used as something other than a sub weapon. With the 56 Earth potency in the main hand, that could be quite strong. Which would be one of the two choices for featured, for non-limited would be that with Angel without a really great costume, or the one that we have that does have a costume is Yuffie's Hawkeye, which is what, it's going to be 850 with a 1.2. And that's going to give total of 1020 straight damage, which is an older weapon, but it's over 1,000. And yeah, I got her Earth Arcanum for that when the Odin event first came out, before Tifa's weapon released, just because I wanted to beat Escalation 20 quicker. Other featured pool is Lucia's Rifle of the Hunt, which is Earth down, P-Def down, but at a low potency. See, whenever the weapons last year would have utility, they would nerf the shit out of the potency. Whereas nowadays, it still gets the full 1340, and it has a ton of utility on it. So that's another reason why these need help. These physical Earth needs help, because the strongest one is limited. It isn't even the 1340. We do have a Earth Memoria. We do have a Earth bonus, but on the magic side. And we have the 1340 on the magic side. But physical Earth is slipping quite a bit. Now we're getting into the top of damage, fire and ice. Magic fire is just ridiculous now with OG Sephiroth. It's got a 1340. It's got the fire bonus on it. Kukui gives him his magic bonus, and we've got a fire Memoria. Although I think it is physical, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a physical on it. So the magic one, the basic magic one, is probably still better. Then what else with magic fire? Tifa Shell Knuckles would be up next. It's 940 times 1.2. So 1128 here. And this is still very strong. 1128, 1120. That was like the last tier of elemental nukes before 1340 came out. And this one's featured, so you could wishlist this one. Whereas Sephiroth was on the 2-year anniversary. It's limited. Next up would be Zack's Stream Guard, which is limited. 1020, and it increases M attack, and it decreases M def. And a couple more honorable mentions. We got Withering Blaze, which is 700 with a 1.2. It's going to give 840, and it does give fire down. Otherwise, for Magic Fire, we'd go with, well, I wouldn't go with, but another option would be Egg Staff. Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Because when are you ever going to use Aerith as a damage dealer? But she does have an Arcanum, and it's 630 with a 1.3, so it comes out to 819. That's Magic Fire. We could go over to Physical, which is in a little worse spot. Best that we have right now is crossover weapon, so you can't get this one now. It's 1180 for the Dragon Quest sword, which actually adds a fire weakness. It has utility adding defenses. Your best bet for a featured wishlistable fire would be Vince's Holiday Garm, which is a 940 1.2, so 1128. So Physical Fire doesn't have a 1340 yet. It does have a Memoria though. After this, you'd be looking at Lucia's Limit Break, which I was surprised to find out. Where's that? It has an 850 potency. Costume isn't a. Costume is a Arcanum. Huh. That this totally outclasses. Well, it's 840. It gives Enfeeble, gives AoE fire up. And so this outclasses Cloud Sky Splitter pretty much. And Yuffie's Moogle Float, which was a 700 selfish fire up for herself. But again, this is Limit Break that's gone now, so yeah, those other featured options would be 850 for Sky Splitter. The Moogle Float's going to be a 700 AoE with fire up. So yeah, Physical Fire's not in as good as a position as Magic, but the Holiday Garm for Vince is still in a pretty good spot. If you have the Lucia LB, I think quite a few people pulled on it because of Guild Battle. That one's pretty good too. Now we're gonna move on to Ice, which is like the king of the game now, and do Magic first. Where the new Final Fantasy 13 weapon is the 1340 and does Ice Down, does Exploit Weakness to herself. So it has all that utility still at 1340. That's a crossover weapon that's going to go away. Next best from featured would be in a 940 1.2, so 1128 Nanaki Wreath with Yuffie. So that's the second best in terms of potency. And it's just straight damage. And then next up would be Cloud, where Full Throttle's in 1120. Increases his own M attack and it lowers M defense, which is pretty good considering he can give Fusion Sword to be selfish if it's just him on DPS for the 40% magic weapon boost, or if you're running dual DPS with Tifa, He could be a little less selfish. He'll lose out on the exploit from Fusion Sword, but he'll give 30% ice bonus to both himself and Tifa, which this was used in the dungeon just a little bit ago. So Magic Ice got a 1340. It's got a Memoria. It's got multiple sources of the ice bonus because Sephiroth's physical ice will have it too. The 1340 is a crossover weapon, but then we have two 1120-ish featured options. Next up is physical ice, which Sephiroth has the 2-year 1340 that gives ice weapon boost. That's interesting. This is even a separate buff than the ice bonus. So, ice weapon boost C ability. Whereas I didn't even notice this until just a second, that there's so many different variations of this buff that can stack on top of each other. Whereas this is ice damage bonus. So this can stack with Sephiroth's. That's bizarre. So there's ice damage bonus. There's ice weapon boost. Cloud's got his fusion sword has the weapon boost, the C ability weapon boost. Then there's the magic boost from Aerith's new weapon. There's so many different ones of these new buffs that can mix and match. It's interesting. Yeah, after that's a limited weapon from him. The next up for ice would be Vincent's limited Gun of the Worthy, which is an 1120, applies 50% ice weakness one time. And then the third best option is also limited, which would be Stream Saber by Cloud, which could actually be stronger than the new Sephiroth 1340 if you use them together, because he gets 1020 here, then he'll get the 40% C ability weapon boost from Fusion Sword and his exploit from Fusion Sword, plus he'll get the ice weapon boost from Sephiroth 35%. So his 1020 is gonna end up doing more damage because he gets the extra 40% from Fusion Sword. So they're a really good pair together for physical ice. But what do we have when it comes to non-limited physical ice, which is not much? The highest is Glenn's Provoke Axe at 940. Then we get down into like the 800s with Holy Flame Gloves and Yuffie's Spiral Shuriken. Then 620 with Pressure Ridge and Zack's Ice Down, which is great for a sub weapon, by the way. But yeah, physical ice after the new Sephiroth, it's a 1340. We have a Memoria, we have the ice bonuses, different ones. Then it falls off pretty hard after the other physical ice limited weapons. Now for that's all the elements, but we could look at non-elemental really quick as a honorable mention. Cait Sith is still the king of non-elemental if he crits. Let's find a Cait. With his yellow mega, which will do 700 times 3 when he crits, which is what, 2100. Plus the costume gives 50% crit damage. So 2100 plus 50% when it crits would be 3150, but only at a 10% hit rate because, you know, the nail bat from Cloud would be the highest actual potency, but it's like Where's that? 1600, but it takes 5 ATB and you can't use summons, enemy abilities, or limit breaks. But we haven't seen a non-elemental fight in a long time anyways. And then after that would be Zack's Ceremonial Sword at 1400. Yuffie's Bahamut Cutter from the 1 year is like has a multiplier that brings it to 1404. So that's 1080 with a 1.3. That'll be 1404. And then you all the newer non-elemental weapons that are for like buffing, like Fusion Sword and like AC gloves, those are all at 1340. That's why I think non-elemental damage is kind of dead, because they're just matching the potency to whatever the new elemental is. Whereas Daffodil or Sabin Claws was lower. It's just matching whatever the new nuke amount is. Then those both make Guide Gloves and Zidane Sword kind of obsolete, because that's more damage than the 1300 from both of those, plus the extra effects it gives, you know. Then when we go to magic non-elemental, you got, oh well, this one is magic non-elemental, apologies, whereas Clouds is physical. Yeah, magic non-elemental, Vincent Hugs Gun Ugin and Mugen is probably the strongest with a costume, if you have his magic ability potency costume at 1300. Where's that guy at? It's level descending. Yeah, 1300 with his formal wear costume. That's probably the strongest magic non-elemental in the game. Seth's Protector Blade 900 with the 1.3 if it's a single target. Ends up being 1170 with an MDef down and a diamond sigil on it. Tifa's Bahamut Fangs is 1100. And yeah, Seth's Kukui is a 1340. It just matches the new norm. That's it for the elemental, non-elemental ones. But yeah, it seems non-elemental damage is dead. We haven't seen a fight in over a year, and they're just matching the potencies now. But that's about it. Just wanted to go through all the elements of the game and show which ones we have for new 1340s. If most of them are crossover or limited, you know, but which ones we have Memorias for, which ones we have the new bonus buffs for. And just cover that to keep you guys in the know. A lot of the elements we do have featured 1120 potency offerings. Yeah, I hope this helped out, give some insight into the current state of how each element is doing in the game, where wind and lightning are really struggling. Physical earth isn't doing so hot either, you know. That's it. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye.